The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Whether you're new to sales or a lifetime veteran, the Blackbelt Sales Podcast will sharpen your sword and guide you to master the art of sales. And now, here's your host, the ninja himself, Gene Slade.
What's up, my ninjas? Good to see you today. I'm super excited that you joined us for another episode of the Blackbelt Sales Podcast. Today, I have got one of my favorite people on the planet in the studio with me today. His name is Don Johnson. Some of you know him, some of you don't. But Don and I we've got history. He is the other ninja, as you can see down at the bottom of the screen. Don and I have known each other maybe 5-6 years. And I would say personally that Don has probably been, even though he's an owner, he's probably been the best student of the training that I provide that I've seen. And imagine my surprise when I found out a couple years ago that Don was going to be selling the very business that he and I were working on building together. And I was really sad that I was going to end up losing one of my best customers. Right, Don? I think that we calculated recently that Don spent somewhere in the neighborhood of $240,000-$250,000 with Lead Ninja up here. And he was selling about $2 million a year in indoor air quality. And you can imagine the rest if he built a $12 million company was systems. So great salesperson, also has a background as a financial advisor. Do you still hold that license, Don?
I do not hold the license, but I was a certified financial planner through the years, a stockbroker, a certified financial planner. Got into this business and just absolutely loved the sales portion of it.
And one of the things that I thought was really cool was that because of that financial background, having come into this business, he was able to handle all of his own financials, do all of his own taxes, right? A lot of us get scared by that stuff. Heck, how many of you out there don't even have accurate financials, period? Not even that you don't get them by the 15th, you don't get them by the 30th, not the 10th, like most people really, really want them, but you don't even have accurate financials. Think about the edge that would give you. However, the other side of that sword was, Don, you had never been in the HVAC business before you came into ownership, had you?
I was not. First day I was ownership. I just, my financial, I knew the corporate side. I knew the QuickBooks, the kind of the details, how to get it up and going. And I loved that. I was always into marketing. So I did a lot of the marketing in previous companies and things of that nature. So I got us going on the marketing. I got us all set up. And then I was working with my father, and I jokingly say he comes back about a year and a half later when we really are, about this deep into of the struggles of any startup.
Yeah, and let me interrupt you for the moment. You guys saw on the introduction to this that we said that Don went from 75,000 upside down to $12 million in sales. That's actually not the truth. That was a typo. He was 750,000 upside down when you ended up taking it over, right?
Yes.
And then to 2 million.
Exactly.
12.
12 million. And we really were doing about 10.8 when I sold, but I had a 2-year workout. So we finished this last year just right at the 12 million mark. When you count the rebates and the other dollars, it was just over the $12 million. And through this corporate, we were always good about getting our financials closed by the 7th of every month. That was the old airtime days. And
yep.
That, they were at
a lot of people will say that's impossible.
Day. Yeah. Well, when we moved to the sale, we had a 3-day close and 3 business days. And now, the process for us is down to probably about 2.5 days. We're typically through. Depends on how difficult inventory becomes that month. And that's counting all of inventory every month and still getting it done in 3-day close. So
that is amazing. Guys, if you're watching live right now, she put it up. Thank you for reminding me. I was about to go there, but if you're watching live, will you please just comment live for me? Man, I would really, really appreciate that. And if this is a replay, just type replay down in the comments. Please help me to know where the traffic is coming from, whether it's lives or replays. I appreciate that. We don't ask for much. So Don is, we're going to get into a little bit more of some of his knowledge, maybe share some secrets with you today. But I wanted to just announce for those of you that can't stay the entire time, number one, thank you, Cameron Best, for staying live. Number one, what you see up here, the Profit Coach Mastermind, this is actually a new mastermind that we've opened up that is exclusively for owners. All right. Now, there will be a fee to the actual program, but the first 30 days are no commitment, no contract, no strings attached. Don and I will put you in there and you can learn from absolutely one of the best. He's over this direction right here. You can learn from one of the absolute best that I've ever seen. And one of his passions is also training technicians. That's one of the things you love to do every day, right?
I did. That was certainly the funnest part of the day for many years was get in there, do the training. And I love to hire the 20-year-old that's never been in the business and see if I could get them in a truck, get their technical through other guys, but come to me and get their greeting, get their findings reports, get how to present, and then go out and outsell the I hate to call it the grumpy techs who just say this shit'll never work. I'd like to go out, and I love to go out and get those guys proving them wrong. So those were fun when you could have guys never been in the business produce more revenue than the guy's been doing it 5, 10, 20 years.
So let's talk about your journey just a little bit. And before we do that, if you guys are interested in taking advantage of the Profit Coach Mastermind that Don and I put together, Don's going to be running it. I'll be bouncing in and out. But if you want to take advantage of it, 30 days on us, put profit down in the comments. Okay. If you want more information or you want to just get signed up, put profits down. If you just want to get signed up, period, just put I'm in. Again, it's not going to cost you anything. And for 4 weeks, you're going to meet with Don and some other business owners, and you guys are going to sharpen each other. Okay. Iron sharpens iron. Have you ever heard that, guys? Iron sharpens iron. What does that mean? It means when two sharp things come together, right, they get sharper. Okay. So I want you to take full advantage. Don did a great script and taught me so much, helped me make a lot more money than I've ever had. His meetings in the morning really helped me a lot. I couldn't even get through. Oh, there it is. There it is. Wish we could have been there more. Miss you a lot. You got a fan club out there, man. Everybody they're already talking about Don in the comments like 3, 4, or 5 minutes ago. So we're talking about a special human being, guys. He's going to be doing some on-sites for you guys in my stead. In place of me. You guys know that it's gotten really expensive to get me out with all the 6 kids and everything. And my big head right now. So Don is actually going to be going out and at a little bit less of a rate is going to be doing some on-sites for us and teaching the technicians, which is one of the things that we were just talking about. So let's take us through your journey real quick in like 2 to 3 minutes. When you and I met, you're doing like $3-4 million. What happened from there and how long did it take? And just give us kind of a synopsis.
Well, we had you out every other month, it seemed like, for a while, maybe every 3 months when the summers hit, because you get a little busy. But we were committed to it, and it changed the process. I remember some of the first people saying, "Oh, this stuff will never work. People won't pay $500 for a UV light," and then you just say, just stick with me, keep doing it. And these same guys come back and laugh now with us and say, $2,000 is a joke of a ticket for them now compared to what they said wouldn't be able to be done back then. So it's really fun when you see those stories happen, but committed to it. The people who kind of like, oh, that stuff will never work. You finally have to kind of get through the crowd and push them out, and some leave, and it's okay, and you replace them, and you get buy-in from your team, and it's been very good. We were really good about producing leads from our service department instead of having to spend tons of
The
advertising.
old TO, right? The old
The
turnover.
TO, that was our specialty. Most of our leads came from our service department. So we advertised for tune-ups. We got in the door. We divide our calls out.
We even did some radio stuff together, some radio shows as well to pull in tune-ups.
Yes, we did that. And if it was older, we were getting systems from it. We're about a 55% closing company. And you got to consider that we're closing at 55% as long as it's 10 years or older. Didn't even say 10 years and broken or 10 years and the customer is okay with the presentation. If the equipment was 10 years, we were getting about 55% of those turned into equipment. Now,
Wow.
The ones that are below that, we were great about Breathe Easy. And you and I.
Now, what's Breathe
sure,
Easy? Tell everybody what Breathe Easy is.
Yeah. You and I came up with that term at one of our classes, I believe, when we were talking. And it's the indoor air quality packages that if you can name your product, what people get as the benefit, every time you're just saying the name, they're hearing, I want that. So we named it the Breathe Easy package, and that's because it's what it does.
Think about naming something, what it does. The first thing that came to mind, like I love Shark Tank. The first thing that came to mind when you said that was Scrub Daddy, right? Like what it does, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that the Breathe Easy, whoever ended up coming up with it, I don't remember who it was, but I know that we built a package on top of that, and those packages ended up being $15,000 or more.
Exactly. Different 5-6 stages. We would jokingly, we'd teach it that, and then I would go back and invent another stage and then come back.
Yeah, it's up to like 11 now.
It was like nuts of what we would put in that. One of our competitors actually saw them at the home show. They put the words Breathe Easy across their T-shirts for all their guys to wear now. And you're like, I'm pretty confident that, maybe I can't take the credit to invent it because there's other people out there. But we had to mainstream it for my competitor to put it on their shirt. That's hilarious. That's awesome. When their competitor put it on their shirts, and it was on their home show board and everything else. But as you train people and they leave, the information kind of goes
trickles
out,
doesn't it?
It does. And
now, hang on a second. As a contractor, I want to ask you, because there are a lot of other contractors that don't have a $12 million company, and I know that you were 3-4 million supposedly when we met. But what do you say to the contractor that says, that's exactly why I don't send my people to training and spend $6,000 or $10,000 or $20,000 on them, because they're going to freaking leave? What would you say to that contractor?
Well, you've heard it long before me, but from the old guys in the business, my dad said it. What if you train them and they leave, but what if you don't and they stay? And now you're having to deal with problems and low revenue tickets and everything else. I would
give me a boom for that one in the comments. Give me a boom in that one for the comments, guys. Keep going down.
And I really don't mind if I'm bettering our industry. And if these guys go across the street, so to speak, there's somebody that worked for me. But if I teach them and they go across the street and are working for somebody else, I know they're not going to be the cheap guy anymore. They're actually going to help the whole industry. We will price better when we train everybody. We will price better. So getting people to believe that they can do, again, we never use these product names, but how many times I go talk to companies and they're selling a Remy Halo for $895 and can't sell it and don't know how. And people will buy this, and you'll go, wait, let me put it in this package. It'll be $3,000 and you'll sell 5 times as many as you sell right now. And they're like, you're crazy. I said, just do the process and it will work. It has been phenomenal to have that to happen. And all it takes is getting one guy in the company doing it, and everybody else is like, what
do we call that guy? What do we call that guy? I call him the rabbit.
The rabbit? Everybody's going to chase him. That's for sure.
Everybody's got to have a rabbit. It's so funny that you're saying that, because I have a plumbing client who is down here in Florida, but on the East Coast with me. And their existing guys weren't really latching on to the training so much. So they're a platinum mastermind member. So we have monthly calls. Once a month, I do a one-on-one with them. And I was like, listen, if these guys aren't going to do it, let's go get some green guys that will do it, right? Guys that don't know any different. And they just hired their first green guy. He started about a week and a half ago. You know, because you heard it, Don's actually doing some training with me inside of the Lead Ninja Mastermind, which is for our techs and owners as well. But this guy, plumber, bam, goes out and on his third ticket, hits a $7,000 ticket. And then a couple days later, hits another $7,000 ticket. He ran 10 calls in a row, all inspections, mind you. Green guy, just following our process. 10 calls, $20,000 in sales, not including the stuff they're still following up on. So that's a $2,000 average ticket for a green plumber with zero experience doing any sort of tech work. Tell me that it can't be done when somebody brand new is doing that. All right, Don, we see it all the time because we hire people from outside the industry. Talk about that.
Yeah, we've had guys that worked the drive-through at Zaxby's that we trained and became a technician and did well. We've had the young kid that the hair's down halfway their back, and you clean them up and you get them out there, and they're in this industry. It's been 5 years, 6 years, and several have left, and then doesn't take long, they're back. And sometimes I tell people, say, look, it's okay if you leave. I get that. Just stay with me long enough that you truly learn this and understand it, and you'll have a career. But if you just jump for a job, they're not going to teach you anymore. Your level's going to stop.
Where's that come from? Because that's not something that I hear business owners typically say to people. Like, I used to say, look, please follow me as long as I'm able to provide you a way to continue to climb, right? But the moment that I'm not able to help you anymore, by all means, move on. But where does that come from? Like, you want to teach them everything they need to know, yet before they leave you? What's the mentality behind that?
Well, certainly in these last few years, my life has turned more to a contribution. What am I giving back? What is my legacy going to be? And, the company name hasn't got my name on it. Everybody knows it, but, doesn't.
Bad idea, by the way. If you're considering starting your own company, don't put your name on it. Keep going.
I like that. I'm okay with that. But, there's some vanity to having your own name up on billboards and famous in that respect. But, it's come down to what's my legacy. I lost my father about a year ago, it was December. And I can remember having this conversation for the last 3 months of his life that was obvious that he was towards the end. And we were talking about legacy. What is his legacy? Of course, his children, his grandchildren. But it came back to, what are we contributing to everyone that we meet that lets them go on to do more in life? And it got me thinking about my legacy or my contribution. And so that's why I love the teaching. I hope somebody, I hope the guys on here, a guy named Andrew, that I spent a lot of time with the last 3-4 months trying to get him enough benefit, enough knowledge, over the hump, doing well, because I could see where his career was going. I knew I wasn't going to be there long enough for it to take years, because I knew this change was coming. I had a two-year workout arrangement, and it had just passed that time period by about 3-4 months. So I knew I was on the time to come out and do something a little bit different. But I kept every day just fast tracking this guy, and I really am proud of what he has done. And we got him from never been in the industry to installer, to service, to a comfort advisor in 6 months, 7 months. And he's and okay, I got AJ, who's still.
It doesn't take forever, guys.
Mm-mm. He is phenomenal.
It just
we
doesn't
got him
take
selling
forever.
Breathe Easies on installs while he was an installer, and you're like, if you can do that, let's get you on more calls.
That's
And
one of the
more
most
calls is
untapped
service.
resources for contractors. Think about that, Don. Like, I I had installers sitting in on my sales meetings, right? And I had installers that I had to pull them out of installs and put them in service trucks because they were costing me too much money to do installs. Like, because they were selling a $3,500 turbocharged Remy Halo or whatever the heck on every single install. Don't overlook your installers. If you're looking for somebody to fill a tech role, look to your installers, give them some training, give them some opportunities, and see whether or not they want it. Some of those guys are hungry, man.
Yeah, I agree. I think Jesse's on here. He was an installer for us. He's gone on to be great at service and sales and adding to his ticket. When he focuses, I'll give him a little bit of push here. When he truly pushes himself to do the whole process, he'll make more money.
Yeah. So, see, that's the thing. This is one of the things that irks me, is that somebody can do the process halfway and double or triple their income, right? And it's so frustrating to watch them do it part of the way when you can see what is available to them. Like you said, that contribution that your life can be to somebody else, if you can just get inside their head and get them to trust you to do the work, right? Just do the work, guys. I'm going to tell you, you're either going to work hard now and have a great life, or you're going to have the opposite, right? You can not work hard now and you can have a horrible life later, right? Mm-hmm. Guys, do the work now. Let's talk a little bit more about the Profit Coach Mastermind and what's going to be involved. Before we do that, guys, if you're watching live, will you please just type live into the comments? Man, I really appreciate that. If it's a replay, just type replay into the comments. And then I'm going to give you an opportunity to get in on this thing here in about 3 minutes. Can you hang with me for 3 minutes? And I'll give you 30 days worth of training from a guy who just sold his $12 million company right over here. I'll give it to you for free for 30 days. Okay. No commitments, no contracts, no strings attached. Okay. 100% giving back to the community. Okay. And if you're watching this a month from now, or 3 months from now, or 6 months from now, the offer still stands. Okay. Your first 30 days on us. Cool. So, baby, throw up the slide for some of the things that we're going to cover in the first few meetings. In the first month, our goal is to get through this list. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Depends on how many questions you guys bring to us during these sessions. The sessions are going to be Wednesdays at 12 o'clock Central. Okay. So first one, how to develop a turnover system. Okay. Don just shared with you that about 55% of their systems over 10 years old, they were able to convert into a lead for a comfort advisor or a senior technician to go out and close. Guys, this is where the meat of your business is if you're in HVAC. Now, if you're in plumbing, there's a whole different list of things that we can go over. Bring your questions, okay? Right. Secondly, how to increase equipment leads from the service department. Kind of goes hand in hand, right? But Don, why don't you say a little bit more about that, and we can take down the slide.
Yeah, well, I want to say that we can get between 90 and 100% of those over 10-year-old become leads. Now, we were closing 55% of those. So we consider 100% to be, you're always going to have that rental property and a property manager and, the higher authority gambit working against you. So I get that there's some issues that can come up. But if it's 10 years and older, equipment will be a discussion. In fact, we had moved that number down to 8 years for our company because we'd sold so many of the 10s. We just weren't on enough older equipment. So we were at over 8 years was our actual number. And we still were at 55% closing this year. So yes, you're dealing with, but don't they still have warranty and, things of that nature? Yeah. It's a trade-in. It's an early trade-in. The value of your trade-in is going to dramatically go down once the warranty ends. So
and you have to offset that. You got to factor in also the cost of owning that equipment, right? So there's a whole different conversation there, and those build on one another, y'all. And we're going to discuss that inside this Profit Coach Mastermind. Again, it's only for owners. I'm sorry, Tex. I know I got a bunch of you who are followers. Love you. Start your own company, and boom, 30 days for free. Okay. Otherwise, owners.
You've got a group that you run every week that's for the techs on the scripting and the breathe easy and how to do it. Yes, the owners in this group will get the same scripting and they'll get it taught to them so they can go teach their guys. But the actual training to the technicians is in your lead ninja group that meets twice a week from if I have that correct. I've attended several of those and participated in those. So
Yes, sir.
produce the leads, close the sales. So obviously that's going to increase it. Less than 8 years old, we're going to add on to that ticket. We had a tremendous year last year with this AC restoration package. And it's a contactor capacitor, easy start kit, because I don't like to call them hard start kits,
Right.
and a surge protector. Okay, those 4 items, if the system needed any one of them, just present the package. And now they're
Right.
all the same age, they're all carrying the same warranty, and it closes. And you close for that package. Now, what you price it at certainly is different in every market. So to sit you there and tell you, we were about $800 for those little 4 components, really quick and easy. $788, I think, was my play, after service agreement number for stuff that might have had $100 worth of material cost in it. 110
Right.
maybe,
And stuff,
somewhere in that range.
some of which can go on the next system if you replace the system, right?
Well, your surge protector is obviously sitting there with that next system. If you get your service sales moving, the difference between repair versus replace narrows, and it becomes easier to make that sale. It really does. Now, you might have to give a little money back on a $788. I'd give the whole $788 to a new system, because that's typically in that pricing, flexibility that's already there. At least
We were talking about that this morning.
Yeah. So there's plenty of room to work on that. And we were carrying a little over a $10,000 ticket average on our system sales. So we've been working it up. We've been in the 9s for a while. I think we're right at the $10,000 mark. So I'm proud of that number. I can remember back when you started, we were complaining about, damn, if we could just ever get above 6,000.
Yeah.
We had a salesman that he got nicknamed 5G because all he could ever bring me in was a 5G job. His name was 5G. Hopefully, if you know 5G, he still gets called that. He's still in my phone as 5G. But he's funny. He's much better than that now.
Boss, I got 5Gs for you.
I got 5Gs.
Hilarious.
That's all that boy could bring in for us. But and it wouldn't matter what size the job was. It seems like it was always in the 5s. But he's actually much better now. But that's where the nickname kind of started. He's funny, and it seems like I always nickname everybody in the company. It just happens. And it's not like I try. It's just something pops out at some point, and you just create a nickname. I always say, if I'm joking with you, I like you, I'm gonna work with you. When you don't get much conversation with me, when you better worry. So
no, Don, you just said something really interesting, and I'm going to add something to it. Don said that we was doing about $10,000 average tickets, a little over $10,000 average tickets. When we met, it was like around 6,000. They were happy to get on an average ticket for replacement. I also recall that not too long after we started working together, that you almost doubled your sales, and you ran the same number of calls, right? Like year back to year. So when you hear people say that you can increase your prices and your closing ratios and not have to run any more calls and double the size of your company, 100% legit possible. I've done it. Don's done it as well.
Well, when you look at average tickets, and you were doing them for the plumbing guy, you can look at average tickets for each department, and that has merit. I like that. But if you look at average tickets through the whole company,
blended,
blended, it's going to factor in how good are you at turnovers. Because you can be the worst company in the world at producing leads out of your service department, and your service tickets will go through the roof because you're fixing everything. You're putting in $5,000, $4,000 compressors. We're not going to put in many compressors. We're going to put them in a $15,000 system, yes, but we're not going to put in a $5,000 compressor. Right. Is there great margins in that? Are you making money at $5,000 for a compressor? Yeah, but how much more are you making to do the whole system? And your job and your process flows that way. When you're putting in a $5,000 compressor, you're the guy who's great at selling $5,000 jobs is now usually stuck on that job for the rest of the day, maybe 2. maybe even more when things, now have to be checked on later or whatever. So the fun number is when you can get $1,000 blended average ticket, because
Yeah, you're doing pretty well.
that's great. I mean, I can remember when a lot of this started, we were talking about fives and 600s. I saw it go into sevens and eights, pretty consistent. It got right into the 1,000 range when we were right about the time we were working on our exit plan. And there were months that, we could get $1,400. Those were great summer months, I'll admit. But when you can do 1,000, it's easy to think how much that will be. If I do 100 tickets, that's $100,000, right?
Yep.
So
10,000 calls, that's 10 million.
Yeah. See, so that's what it really, the power is get your ticket blended to 1,000, and then continue to scale. Yeah, it all happens together, but that's why you want to know that the blended.
And there's a lot of pieces
factors in everything.
A lot of pieces that have got to come together, y'all, for that to happen. Again, this is why we've created this for the owners. All right. And we're going to give you your first 30 days absolutely free on us. No contracts, no commitments, no strings attached. We're just going to put you in the group, give you the links to the meetings. If you want to get into that, if you want more information, type profit. Okay. Profit down in the comments. If you don't need more information, you're like, Gene, your word's good enough for me. You say I go in there and follow this guy for 4 weeks and it's going to benefit me and it's going to be worth my time. Type I'm in down in the comments. Just type I'm in down in the comments, and thank you for your trust. Sincerely appreciate it. Let's put that slide back up of some of the other stuff that we're going to be going over. Thanks, by the way, for everybody who's commenting right now. I appreciate you guys. Hey, look, if you know somebody that needs this, share the stream, man. Put somebody's name down in the comments. Don't be selfish, y'all, right? We're giving to you. Give to them. Let's spread the love. How to close IAQ on systems that you put in last year. Right? Yeah. That's easy, but it's not easy if you don't know how to do it. Selling the AC restoration packages that Don was talking about on a 3 to 8 year old system. They had a restoration package that they would constantly put in front of the client. I'm not saying they pushed it. I'm saying they put it in front of the client. They put it in front of the client. They put it in front of the client. Eventually, persistence wears down resistance, and clients, a lot of times, are going to be told something multiple times for them to make something happen. Okay? How to make the phone ring. I know you guys out there right now are struggling with this. If you're having a difficult time making the phone ring, if you've got mild weather, say no ring in the comments. Phone's not ringing. I want to see who is it out there. Your phone's not ringing, or just put mild weather in the comments. I want to know who's experiencing those times where it's hard to get the schedule full. We're going to talk about how to make that happen. Okay, we'll share with you how to make it happen, and hell, we might even make it happen for you if you really, really want. Okay, thank you. No ring in the comments if you're not getting calls. QuickBooks training and a chart of accounts and profit and losses. Oh my gosh, guys, if you don't know where you're at, how are you going to get where you're going? That's what I want to know. If you don't know where you're at, if you don't know if you're making profit or not, if you don't know as a percentage of revenue what your rent is and what your labor is and what your commissions are and what your cost of goods are and what your cost of sales are, if you don't know this stuff, you are headed for an iceberg, okay? The power of positive pricing. Don, you want to expand on that for just a minute while we take the slide down?
Yeah, I wanted to say that about QuickBooks. Once you get your QuickBooks organized, and now you know how much you spend, but now I need to know how much I spend as a percentage of my revenue.
Right.
Then the bigger picture is that good? Is that the right number?
Right. Exactly.
So we want to put together a budget, as we call it. If you tell an owner, here's your budget, they just almost want to, I know as me as a owner, it's like, push back. I don't have anything to do with
I don't think
budgets.
they realize what a budget is.
Yeah. If you just change the word budget to this is your profit forecast, I don't know an owner that wouldn't jump into a class on profit forecasting. But if you tell me it's budget classing, I'm going to find a way to skip that one. Profit
budgeting sounds like cutting down and negative and all that. It's not really what it is. It's something completely different.
Profit forecasting changes the whole outlook of how you think about that. So we get them organized. You get them from dollars to a percent, and then you get that percent and go, okay, here's the KPI, here's the key performance indicator for each one of these categories, or at least groups. If you know, we don't necessarily have to measure your dumpster price versus my dumpster price, but we might want to know how much are we spending on you know, the office and the utilities,
Right.
and those items. So yeah, we've got some of those KPIs.
When do
that
you
we
add
put
a
together.
service manager? When do you add a sales manager? I mean, those are all involved with KPIs as well, guys. Like, and then is there any room for us to improve that percentage? Like Don says, is it right? Is it wrong? Right? Can we make that better? Can we enhance that? And if you do that enough times, you know, 0.5%, 10 times is 5% of the bottom line on a $12 million company. What's that? 600 grand? That's a big deal. A big deal.
It's a BAB, as they say, a big boat, right?
Yep. Let's put that
BAB.
slide back up. Let's throw that slide back up.
So the positive pricing. Yeah, you mentioned the positive pricing. So yes, that's, you know, how much should your equipment be as a percentage of the job? How much should it be of the overall financials? So I've got two different metrics: percentage to the job, but also percentage of the overall. So positive pricing puts it all in place. And, you know, I'm not the first one that says that. That was a great booklet out there from Matt Michelle. He did a very good job with it. But it's very relevant. How do you know you're priced for making money, to be positive, to come out of this thing with the numbers? You know, more on the list. I see it over there, developing a why should I buy from you? Having a conversation earlier about, if somebody says your prices seem to be high, okay, well, why should you buy from me? Well, we'll develop that in this group. We'll show you the 34 that have been developed and teach you how to memorize them, and then more importantly, teach you how to train your people so when they're confronted with this, they can recall it quick enough. Sales in front of a customer is often like joking or a good joke. You can't wait 30 minutes or 3 minutes after something's said and say, oh, I got a funny comment about what you said three hours ago or 30 minutes ago. Sales is the same way. You have to be able to know the information, but recall it fast enough so that you're putting it out at the right timing. So jokes are all about timing. Yeah, and sales is about timing. It's the right information at the right time makes all the difference. I need to think about it. I hear that a good bit with people. How do we handle it? What are we doing? And how to do follow-up calls. A lot of times this time of year, a lot of people are struggling, and we're hearing, okay, I got to follow up on this, follow up on that. What is the purpose of the follow-up call? So many times we're trying to sell over the phone, and the purpose of the follow-up call is to get back in their home. If they'll let you back in the home, the money, you know, the chances of closing, it's good. And it's so much easier just to try to get back in the home as a first commitment. Once they make the first commitment, they tend to make the second or the third commitment that much easier. So
write this down, guys. Write this down. The fortune is in the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. People are so busy nowadays. A lot of times they're not making decisions right now. And just so you know, statistically, it's going to take somewhere between 7 to 12 follow-ups to get that deal. Okay, to get back in front of that customer. So don't go into it like getting discouraged. Just understand the dirty math. Okay, 90% of my closes with follow-up. I rarely try to close at the table. Do not want to be pushy. Donald, I agree with you, and I think we can get you more deals at the table too. But hell,
I'll say I'd rather you get 50% of them at the table at least, and then work on nibbling the rest of the way up to the 90%. But if you're getting 90, you know, it's all how you look at that. If you're getting 90% of your systems closed, what can I say about that? Hey, good job. But if you're just telling me that, well, I'm getting of my closes 90%, but I'm still only closing 30 or 40. Hey, let's work that up. So he closes
a lot. He's actually a really good salesperson. I'm guessing he's probably about a $3 million salesperson.
Congratulations.
So he's doing pretty good. However, Donald, I just found out today that there's a guy doing 12.2 million last year. Okay, so time to step them numbers up. Let's get that competition going. Get you out to the mansion, right? Oh, by the way, if you are coming to our next Black Belt sales training event, March 9th through the 12th. The class is on the 10th and the 11th, okay? You can come in on the 9th and stay till the 12th if you want, but the class is on the 10th and 11th. You show up on Thursday. Don's actually going to be there, so if you're an owner and you're going to be there already, you'll get to meet him. If you want to still come to that class, I've got 6 seats left in the theater, okay? 6 seats. DM me or put down in the comments, Mansion, if you guys have got some technicians that need training. Look, I'm talking to a man right here that just told you he was at $3 to $4 million a year. He exited his business at $12 million a few weeks ago, okay? And I mean, I don't know what I got to do to convince you that it's like it's costing you money not to go. It is costing you money each and every single time your technician runs a call. It's costing you money. Okay, so listen, rip the Band-Aid off. If you think you can't afford it, I promise you you're wrong. You have a conversation with me, I will promise you that you can afford it. Okay, just put Mansion down below or shoot me a DM. Okay, Don, I got like all crazy on that. I got excited for a minute. Reel me back in.
It's incredible. Every time I went to one of your classes or had you come in, and it's been more that I brought you in, I sat in the front row and I took more notes than anybody else.
Yep.
And maybe it's just the cheap or whatever. I'm spending this money. I'm getting value out of this. And if you spend money to get to that class, and you will take it seriously. If somebody else tells you to go and you don't want to go, you'll just blow right through it. And whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Yeah, if you think the class is good, you'll find value in it. If you think the class isn't, you'll find everything that's
you're wrong
about it. Yeah. So yes, I sat in the class. I took more notes, and even after you were there for the 10th time, there would be like this epiphany, like, holy crap, how did I not learn this before? This is magic. I truly don't know that I internalized what I call the compressor speech until like one of the last classes. And the irony of it is you teach the compressor speech in the first few minutes of the class in that sell me a surge protector conversation. It's
right
in there. And I didn't get it till like 10 times. Maybe I'm a slow learner, but I think I make up for it by consistency and pushing through.
You're not at all, right? Like Grant Cardone says, do the training 10 times. He said on the 10th time, you're going to learn more than the previous 9 times. I mean, guy's a billionaire now. I mean, maybe there's something to that. Repetition. I mean, I think I just put that in a post today. Repetition is the mother of skill. Repetition is the mother of skill. Until you've repeated something over and over and over again, and it's in your bones, in your blood, and in your being, that's when you've got a skill. That's when you master something.
The repetition. I would typically, in my training, even though I'd role play and make the techs do the speech, I would want them to hear me do it at least one more time, kind of at the end, so they could hear it. So I had to do my own. I had to learn this so that I could do the role plays, but I had to do this so that I could do it and stand up in front of the group and do the whole speech, because I wanted the consistency. Even if they didn't quite have it, if they heard it done again, they might pick up one more phrase, and tomorrow one more phrase. And by the time that you finish, maybe I've brainwashed them a little bit into this. It would be quite amusing when you would ask a tech, like, how'd you sell that? And oh, I don't use your system. And then you would say, well, just tell me what you said. And the phrases coming out of them were the exact words you knew. They could, I taught you those words. There's no way you knew that stuff before me. That's our exact phrases. Oh, no, I handle it. No, I gave you the words and you just didn't realize it. So the consistency, the repetition. Yeah, I had probably done, again, haven't run calls. I'm a trainer. I get that. That's totally different. Gene has much more of a history in the field. I was an owner from day one, but I probably said the training and the speeches more than anyone else out there.
There's
I
no
might
question.
even rival the number of times Gene has said this as well, because he makes everybody else do it now. He doesn't do as many of the speeches. But so what do you want to do? You want to go with the bare minimum, halfway, or all the way? So how many times is that going to be said? How many times have I said it? Gosh, I would say if I got $1 for each time, I would have sold my company for about what I sold it for. So it's okay. Had I known I would get $1 for every time I sold that, I probably would have said it at twice as much.
Look, guys, we're going to wrap this up soon. If you've got questions, now would be the time to put them down in the comments, okay? Any sort of questions about what is entailed in the Profit Coach Mastermind. We went over just a small amount of it, but the bottom line is if there's something you need, if there's something you're struggling with, I promise you, if Don can't help you, if I can't help you, I know who can help you. I know so many people in this business, and our job is to do nothing more than enrich your life, help you to create whatever it is that you want to create. Don was talking about legacy not too long ago. Everybody's got a different why at a different time in their life, but we do want to help you. We want to continue to serve a community that's been phenomenal to us. We want to continue to give back because, look, guys, at the end of the day, the more you give, the more you impact people's lives, the more joy that it brings. And look, let's face it, more people get to know you and the more business that you have, right? So look, 30 days on us, absolutely free, no strings, no contracts, no commitments or anything like that. At the end of that 30 days, you can decide whether or not you want to keep going inside of these groups and keep getting sharper and keep headed towards whatever goal it is that you want. We want to know that from day one. The group size is going to be limited right now to 24 people. But we'll look at working on expanding it, okay? So if you want more information, type profit down in the comments. If you don't care about information, you're willing to go on my word, or you know Don and you're willing to go on his word, just type I'm in. We'll put you in the group. We'll get your contact information. One of my team members or Don will get your contact information. Guys, if you need help with the sales side of your business, I want you to text me, okay? I'm just going to give you my cell phone number. All right, go ahead and text me at 239-848-6533. Go ahead and text me 239-848-6533. That's my personal cell phone number. Store it in your phone right now. If for some reason at any point on any day you need anything, you want me to come out, you want me to talk to you on the phone, you need Don's help, right? You want him to come out and do an on-site for you and teach your guys how to sell the Breathe Easy packages and start getting money. Teach your guys how to do the turnover process, right? So that you can go from a 3 to a 6 to a $9 million company, whatever you need. All you got to do is text me. I'm going to have him put it right down at the bottom of the screen again, 239-848-6533. Let's go ahead and leave it up for a moment. Don, what else do you want to say about the Profit Coach Mastermind? Oh, the last thing I was going to say, if you just trust us, you go ahead and put I'm in the comments, and we'll just get you in. Wrap it up, Don.
Yeah, we're going to provide us the value. And you mentioned the lessons, all the things we'll teach. I look back, I'm working on writing a book, and all the people I've got that I learned from, and I call it HVAC Lessons Learned, is kind of the start of it. And I get back and look and realize I've been very fortunate that I've got to meet some people and be part of I got to be in a Profit Coach mastermind for about a year with Ron Smith, and
Ooh.
he was the guy, and I got to be in that class, and it was like phenomenal. It was so wonderful that I got to be in that class. So I got to thinking about that. I was writing that today, all the different guys that I have been hired, brought in, been to class, learned from, and there are some. It's been wonderful to get to meet some of these guys. And the Ron Smith was pretty cool. He's the icon of our industry. Obviously, he knows how to run the structure in the business and everything else. I'd like to say that what we do here is add to the sales portion of what Ron had it in there, but never gave you the scripts on how to do it. We'll give you the scripts on how to do it. But it was really, really exciting when I was looking back and thinking about that portion of a year that I was in as he called it, an advisory board group with him, AB1, and that was the coolest thing to get to be with
that guy.
every week.
He's a legend, y'all. If you don't know who Ron Smith is, he basically created the way that we do business nowadays with tune-up marketing and things like that. I mean, he really was a pioneer and grew a massive company here in my hometown, Southwest Florida, called Modern Air.
Yeah, residential service agreements didn't exist before he came through. He created that industry.
He created subscriptions.
Yeah,
essentially, right?
Yeah. Before we even had credit cards that probably could process it, he was out figuring this out. So, that was fun. I've been very fortunate, and the list goes on of classes I've attended, and it's just fun. I picked the little pieces, obviously, and added it to what I like to do, and it's been great. I was fortunate to get to spend a lot of time with Michael Gerber and eMyth. If you're familiar with Michael Gerber and how to structure the business, was in their coaching program as learning. Now this was 20 plus years ago, but actually got to be on a group like this where Michael Gerber himself was running it. And you don't miss a group when a guy like that says, this is the time slot. You don't say, well, but I've got to, no, I'm good. The rest of my day would be moved around for Ron Smith or for Michael Gerber. Whatever time slot he had, that was the available slot I had. So 12 o'clock, it might be the best time, but you grab a lunch, sit in there, you can eat while, if you're giving up nothing more than your hour of lunch and you're sitting there eating a burger, that's okay. You're still making the most of your day. So you're going to eat lunch every day. Just eat lunch.
That's right. You can be in the mastermind calls while you're eating lunch.
Yeah.
We know you're busy. You're an owner.
It's perfect for that. That's why we set it up kind of that midday mentality, but we will structure out some other times as we get the groups that need to be on each time zone. That's the plan is a group in each time zone to allow for that. It is difficult. Talking with people in California and the time zone, it's very, very early for them on some calls, and it becomes very late for me when it's just the afternoon of the mid afternoon. It becomes a late call. So I'm excited about the Profit Coach Mastermind. There's ability to ask those questions, but we know we have some topics that everyone's going to want to learn from and get to know. So we'll start with these topics, but it'll expand to whatever topics the group takes it. That's the nice part about it is the group can control what do we need to discuss.
Guys, this program is going to make Deca millionaire after Deca millionaire after Deca millionaire. I can't even say it, Don. Guys, if you are not where you want to be, go ahead and get signed up. Type profit in the comments or type I'm in the comments if you just want us to put you right into the group. 30 days, no charge, no strings, no contracts, okay? Guys, we are only where we're at as a result of other human beings, okay? Other human beings that have taught us some of the things that we know. Other human beings that have helped us to gain wisdom and gain experience, all right? So look, our heads are not as big as they might seem sometimes on social media. We really do want to help you. So I look forward to seeing you guys in the group. Get on over there before the offer, doesn't exist anymore. I mean,
24. I think you said 24 is where we've got to fill up, and then we'll see from there. But
we'll have to take 30 days or so, and there will be a waiting list. So look, still respond to this. There will be a waiting list once we fill that up, but we will scale it for you, and we will have some other people that'll be in there helping us as well. But Don is your dude. You can trust him. I hand to God. All right. I love you guys.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day. If you want to see us in Pigeon Forge, I still got 6 tickets left. Give me a call. I promise I'll make it affordable for you. Promise. Promise Jesus. Talk to you later, guys. Peace.